So according to the ancient Christian text, the Creator spoke through the authors of the Bible, and they simply wrote the words down. So if these are the actual words of God, then encoded in them could be some hidden patterns or even possibly some deeper insight into the underlying messages. When studying this topic, it turns out that a man named Vernon Jenkins found exactly that. In 1987, Mr. Jenkins, a well-respected lecturer at the University of Glamorgan, developed a system to reveal hidden patterns found within the original Hebrew text of Genesis. His process was to transpose the numerical value of the letters using the Arabic numeral system. He then used those numbers to determine a certain quantity of geometries, and his results were simply stunning. What you're seeing right now in this first graphic is a 216 unit outline triangle, and I actually replicated his work in a graphics program to see if he was correct, to verify his work. And in this graphic depiction, you see 216 squares or boxes that are all lined up perfectly to create a 216 unit outline triangle. So what Vernon Jenkins did was, he took the first words of Genesis 1 through 7 in this graphic, and you see, in the beginning, Elohim created the heaven and the earth. Now, in the beginning represents 913, Elohim 86. Now, there's some contention about whether Elohim or God are the same thing. There's a difference in translation. But created is 203, and the asterisk you see represents 401, which doesn't have a direct translation in English. The heaven is 395, and 407, the earth 296, which equals 2701. So in the original 216 outline triangle, we can fill that perfectly with 2701 units of the same outline. And in the next one, words 6 and 7 and the earth have a numerical equivalent of 703. And in this graphic, you see a 703 triangle inset in the original 216 outline triangle. But one of the things to note is that all of the resultant 3 yellow triangles that you see all have 666 units each, which I thought was pretty interesting. The next group, we have words 4 through 8, the heaven and the earth, which has a numerical value in Hebrew of 1801. In this graphic, we see an 1801 hexagon inset in the original 216 outline triangle. And one of the other things to note is that each side has 25 units, the perimeter is 144 units, and there are 49 rows, which all are perfect squares. The next one comes from Genesis 1:2, words 2 through 8, which states, "Was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep." The numerical value of this is 1875, or 625 times 3, which gives us 3 625 rhombus insets. Next, words 2 through 8 of Genesis 1:2, "And the spirit of the Elohim moved on the face of the waters." This has a numerical equivalent of 1369, or 37 times 37. Which gives us a 1369 rhombus inset, still perfectly in the 216 outline triangle. So this is hinting towards a whole new level of interrelatedness of everything within our reality. That something as simple as words and something as seemingly opposite as geometry have something in common. They begin with sound. All sciences ultimately derive from vibration. Complex physics distills down into math, and from math, geometry. But you can also create geometry from vibration. This cymatics experiment is used by researchers to visualize related geometric patterns that specific frequencies create. It consists of a speaker playing a frequency underneath a thin metal sheet holding ordinary sand. As you can see, the sand is responding to the sound it is receiving and creating a geometric pattern that is particular to the individual frequency. You will notice that the sand is only creating defined geometric patterns in response to Pythagorean interval of the 432.